Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. So this is a little update. So first of all, some apologies. The video recording that I put up, my original inauguration video, turns out was quite choppy. I think the sound was there, but then it wasn't quite syncing up with my mouth, which was an issue. And of course, I had a bit of a cough as well. You'll notice that I'm not coughing at the moment, and hopefully I can get through this cough free. I've taken your advice, and I've had some beautiful honey and lemon and ginger. I made my honey, lemon and ginger rosemary boil, I call it, where I basically boil that all up. And here, I've got my little burner here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh gosh, will you be able to see that? There you go. I've got my little candle in there, a little bit too bright. And I've got some of my essential oils in there, and I've been breathing that in, and that's helped a lot. What's going on here? It's sorting out a bit. Oh no, I went to the wrong side. It's this side. Got some gaps there. Anyway, what's going on? Sorry, that's irritating me. Don't like too many get there. We are. That's a bit better. Right. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to kind of recap. Many of you have seen that video. So again, sorry that it was very choppy, but what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to just do a little recap. And now, today is the 20th of January 2025, and it is currently 3:30 p.m. UK time. And if I remember correctly, I think the inauguration is due to happen at midday, isn't it? Which should be 5 p.m. my time. So this is like pretty much an hour and a half before it's all due to start. I know that many of you will not be watching, and I can understand. Certainly can understand that, and some of the stuff that we've just seen in the last not even 24 hours is actually quite astonishing, and particularly as well with the things with meme coins, with crypto and stuff like that, which is something, of course, that I mentioned in my first video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. Hopefully, computer compliant. I will get a new computer, by the way. I've just been procrastinating a little bit because I've been a little bit tired, and of course, not so well with the voice, etc., or with the lungs. And it's been very, very cold of late. But thanks for all the support on that. But don't worry, I will get around to that. We'll get around to that soon. So this is just going to be a condensed video. That video, I've taken it down because some people said they were finding it challenging to watch. But if you're a member on my channel, I've flipped it over to members. Many of the members would have already seen it, but you'll have that as for posterity. That video can also be used as a reference point in the future in terms of predictions and stuff that I made. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dive straight into the charts because I've covered a lot of the ground already. One thing I forgot to say last night based on my notes was that I think Elon is going to announce missions to do with Mars and all of that stuff, or some new kind of space program. And what I understand is apparently Vivek Ramaswamy has already been removed from Doge. So and I think I was watching Midas Touch, and the guy said that he is negative Scaramucci's already. And it just goes to underline everything that, as we all know, but everything I've been saying about Trump, how unpredictable he is. He is fickle. You're his friend 10 minutes ago, and then your enemy 10 minutes after. And the second, remember, like Trump is always wanting to be popular. And whenever there is someone that is, if he's around someone that is unpopular, he finds a way to separate himself from that. And of course, if Elon continues to be unpopular, the same will happen to Elon. And just in a way, kind of like how Trump has just dumped a lot of his followers. So of course, at the time that we're saying this, the ceremony is going to be happening outside. A lot of his followers are very disappointed because they've been ditched, because obviously they weren't going to provide him the big crowds that he wanted. Many spent thousands of dollars and time rearranging their lives or whatever to show up, you know, for the inauguration, and they've just been left at the curb, literally out in the cold, while he'll be in the warmth. And when I was watching Midas Touch, they were showing people responding to that, saying, look, we've been screwed, etc. and stuff. And that's one of the themes that I spoke about in the first video, where I said there's going to be huge, you know, there's going to be disappointment for a lot of these people that voted for Trump, which is also part of the Great Awakening. Of course, it's a shame and it's frustrating that everyone has to go through the experience at the same time. Many of those people who did not vote for Trump are having to go through the ructions and the ups and downs and everything like that. And it's really sad, isn't it? Because you can't separate yourself out, you know, into different countries and have different policies and stuff. But this is also part of what the Great Awakening is about as well. I think this is actually really quite a lot about the deepest hardcore MAGA of the MAGA voters that are really have been completely seduced by everything that Trump has said. And of course, it's unlikely that he's ever going to deliver on those promises that he's made. You know, it's tragic, isn't it? It's really tragic. I just feel sad for those that didn't vote for Trump, that are going to have to suffer some of the consequences of course, having him in. And it's just so extraordinary. And all the stuff with the meme coins, the Melania, his coin went down, hers went up, his have gone back up again. It's not even 1 day into the office yet. So what I'm going to do now, let me just share my screen with you just to kind of reiterate some points. I don't want to go back over too much old ground. And sorry for those if you're catching this second recording rather than the first one, but it was just a bit too choppy, but quite a few of you saw it anyway. I'll just try and keep it just to cover those kind of like points and reiterate some of the predictions that I made. And already in that first video, the things that I'm talking about have already started to manifest, and he's not even been sworn in yet. It's quite remarkable. So let's put here, share screen. And then let's do share entire screen. Let's do that. Share that. So here we are. All good. And then let's get this chart up. Let's move this a little bit to the side. Okay, my mouth is still moving. Good. And it's in sync. So far, so good. Right, okay, so what you're looking at, this is the chart of the inauguration day. So for those that maybe didn't see that original video, I'm just going to quickly retrace my steps for the benefit of that and then just kind of get straight in. So here we see when the inauguration happens, which is about an hour and a half from now, my UK time, 12 p.m. Of course, Washington, DC. So by the time this video is up, by the time it's processed, etc., it's going to be happening pretty much at the same time. And of course, many of you will not be watching the inauguration anyway, so may as well welcome to watch this video, of course. So we see this is an Aries rising. Yeah, Aries rising. You can see I've actually got today's date there, 12 p.m. and I've done it for Washington. Now, what we have here, we've got Uranus here in the first house. Now, in many ways, I don't like to blame the planets and stuff like that, but the whole Trump presidency and even Brexit and stuff like that is very Uranian. Elon Musk, very Uranian. And what it is, the Uranus energy, remember, it's an unstable energy. It's unpredictable, volatile, unpredictable, deals with mavericks, can deal with pioneers, of course, and visionaries and stuff like that, but it is a maverick planet. it also as well, when what I found is, well, not even what I found, when a planet is in an angle, it has more impact. And angular houses are 1, 4, 7 and 10. Yeah, so literally if we look here, this Uranus is in an angle because it's in the first house, because this is the rising sign of the moment. It is Aries, so everyone kind of born in the next 2 hours or so, you know, well, in fact they've already, some of them, a lot of them have been born already, but in America will be an Aries rising, and with Aries rising, the whole chart will follow the natural order of the zodiac. So the planet that is in the first house, particularly when it's on its own, this is what I found, will define the life and will define the chart. The chart ruler of this chart here is Mars, yeah, because it's in the sign of Aries. Aries belongs to Mars. Mars is currently debilitated, so it means the ruler of the chart is debilitated. And what that can mean is that there can be issues with that planet expressing itself positively. Now with Mars, it is a little bit different. Mars is considered exalted in the sign of his enemy, which is Saturn, in the sign of Capricorn. He's considered to be at his best qualities. He's debilitated in the sign of Cancer, which belongs to one of his good friends, the Moon, yet delighted. So it's quite a complex energy. Yeah, it's quite complex. It's quite a complex energy. Some blessings, some struggles. It's a mixed bag. Yeah, when Mars is in the sign of Cancer. But really, the one who's driving the bus, as I refer to it, is Uranus. Yeah, Uranus driving the bus, because he's literally in the driver's seat, which means that this inauguration and this forward of Trump administration has the energy of Uranus. And Uranus I refer to as the crypto planet. Yeah, Uranus and Rahu are crypto. Let me just sip a little bit more of my tea so I don't cough. But yeah, Rahu and Uranus are crypto planets. You can even say Mercury as well. And even at a distance, you could say Saturn, but Uranus, definitely. Yeah, it's the planet of the Industrial Revolution, the shock of the new. So what this tells us is that this administration is going to be very volatile, unpredictable, erratic, and even quite malefic. Yeah, because Uranus does have a malefic streak. But there's going to be a lot of innovation and a lot of unprecedented things are going to happen, because Aries is the sign of innovation, pioneering, doing new things. But also as well, Aries is the sign of leap, then look. Yeah, that's Mars's motto: leap, then look. And then if you think of his enemy, Saturn, is look before you leap. Yeah, Saturn is very cautious, conservative. Yeah. Mars is very action oriented, yeah, planet of war. But it's not just war, it's also passion, sports, etc., and stuff like that. But this is, for me, this is a very kind of pioneering, but also gung-ho energy. And a friend was saying it's like the gold rush in a way, but in a way, this is more like the crypto rush. Yeah, I would say it's more like the crypto rush. And here, you know, and then particularly as well, when I just click up some of the articles, I mean, you can literally see, you know, Trump has launched a meme coin, and then Melania, his wife, has launched them. I mean, this is unprecedented. This has never been done before. It is very, very Uranian. So there is that aspect there. But also as well, that great awakening that I was talking about. You remember that big pile up of planets. So if I just put here 29th of March 2025, we've got something at the moment which is called a parade of planets, which is a lot of planets are in alignment, but I talked about in the line, just to refresh your memory, it is Mars, Saturn, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune. Yeah, those were the 6. Uranus and Neptune, of course, can't be seen with the naked eye. But you see, if we look here, Saturn, Venus, Neptune, yeah, Uranus, and Jupiter. But obviously only Saturn and Jupiter, Venus are visible with the naked eye. Yeah, and Mars. Sorry, Mars is also part of that as well. Yeah, Mars is part of that as well. But what I want you to focus on is this here, which I'm referring to as the Great Awakening. And this Great Awakening, as it were, with this stellium here of 8 planets, is happening sidereal Pisces on the 29th of March 2025. You heard me talk a lot about this. This will show where the energy is. Yeah, for on the personal level, it can show where there may be a renaissance. So you're on a personal level, but this is also showing where the dramatic change is. So in this inauguration chart, which is going to be relevant for at least another 4 years, because it will be relevant for each administration, questionable who else is going to be there. And remember what I'll just reiterate again. Like I said, if he doesn't do what they want, he'll be found at the bottom of the stairs. But you know, he's in bed with the billionaires, so he's probably all right for now. But you never know; could be a health crisis could come up. Now, if we look here, this is all happening in sidereal Pisces, which in this chart is the 12th house. So the 12th house. Let me actually just refer to my notes again, because I did do my extended notes on this. Let me just see here. Let's see. Sorts, shocks and surprises. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, chart which suggests themes of loss. Yeah, because the 12th house deals with losses. Remember that, deals with losses. It deals with expenses. It deals with traveling long distances. It can deal with health. Yeah, issues around health, hospitals. It also deals with prisons. It can also deal with reputations. So just to reiterate, there will be people. Some people that will have a loss of reputation. So I think you're going to be seeing Trump going after a lot of people, particularly in the media. I mean, he's already said this, hasn't he? But, you know, depending on which attorney general is sworn in, I think, was it Pamela, or what's her face, or whatever? Has she been confirmed? You guys can let me know in the comments. But she's obviously very pro-Trump. So, yeah, but it also deals with prisons and hospitals. So, again, that's very relevant. Prisons and hospitals. Trump is saying that he wants to what? Pardon a lot of the January 6thers, yeah? Now, you're supposed to use it for non-violent crime, so let's see if there's even any restraint on that. But that's already becoming pertinent, isn't it? The ones that are experiencing the loss already are, of course, his followers. Yeah, many of them spent a lot of money traveling, trying to get to, DC, only to find that they have literally been left out in the cold. Yeah, literally left out in the cold. There could be issues as well with isolation and confinement. Yeah, so again, that's very relevant as well, because there will be the deportation regime, which I think he said he's still gonna try and do. 12th house also deals with imports and exports. Yeah. And if we think now, that is very relevant because it is an oceanic house, and Pisces is an oceanic sign. And when we deliver stuff across the world, what do we call it? We call it shipping. Yeah. And if you think of the tariffs, and he's talking about the Panama Canal, the more and more I put this together in my head, my goodness, yeah, the 12th house themes, yeah, 12th house themes, or where this great awakening is happening, based on this inauguration chart, this is already coming true. Yeah, it's already coming true. I mean, obviously, a lot of this was on the cards, but we're literally seeing it. manifest concretely, aren't we? Manifest concretely. So yeah, themes around isolation. A lot of people will obviously, and this is the shadow side, I'll talk about the positive side as well, but a lot of people will lose money, you know, under Trump in terms of the things that he might cut. 12th house also deals with retirement as well, endings and beginnings. But, you know, I think there's probably got to be more endings than beginnings. And if we look, even Vivek has already had an ending before it's even begun for him. Yeah. But also as well, it deals with expenses as well. So of course, he's made promises that he's going to make life cheaper, but the tariffs, of course, will lead to more expenses or retaliation. We'll see what happens with China. I've said, or at least a couple of weeks ago now, maybe a month or so ago now, but I said it will be interesting to see what happens in terms of tariffs in regards to China because of Elon Musk's influence. He obviously does a lot of trade with China, and one of the reasons why he got that bill scuppered, do you remember that original bill that had bipartisan agreement? And he scuppered it with a few of his tweets. What he got removed was a specific thing in that bill, which was to do with intellectual property and stuff, trades, imports and exports and stuff like that, if I recall correctly, with China. Yeah, he got that part struck out. So because he's going to be having offices in the White House, which is outrageous when you think about it. I mean, this is absolute oligarchy. Yeah. You might be seeing Trump change his stance on China a bit. I think he's already doing that. And I put here, yeah, Elon may announce more news on Mars and or astronauts, stuff like that. Because remember what I said all along, you guys know this, I've been saying it for ages. I said, that's what Elon, he wants to go to Mars. Yeah, he wants to become the world's first trillionaire. And he's already halfway there at 430 million. He wants to become the world's first trillionaire. And he wants to go to Mars and do all of his mad kind of like crazy stuff. So there will be these themes of loss, betrayal, endings, exile. Yeah, exile. 12th house is also exile. So many people that have been in America for years, if they fall foul of this new regime, yeah, they're going to be literally exiled to whichever country they were at before in the mass deportations. Yeah, all of that stuff. People that were expecting things, the MAGA lot that maybe were expecting Trump to make their life cheaper, that is highly unlikely to happen, isn't it? I mean, he's making these things, but if he carries on with those policies that he's been talking about, which will increase the cost of goods and services, I don't see how that can be made cheaper. And a lot of them, well, not a lot, but quite a few of the MAGA are waking up even more. Yeah, you've got your Laura Loomers and your Steve Bannons and stuff like that. And now some of the base are being like, oh God, you know, are we getting screwed? Yeah, so there's that. But let's not just focus on the negative things. Let's look at some of the positives. So I've put here, the mass awakening will happen more and more in the ordinary public, especially among those that voted for Trump, hoping that their lives would improve. As I've said, a lot of them are realizing already, yeah, stuff ain't quite right. Yeah. And we'll see if the scales will fall from their eyes. I've put here, people will start looking for more alternative spirituality of all kinds. You'll still have your people going to the mega churches and stuff like that, but so many people are going to be crestfallen. And when they start going to their pastors and start saying, like, why isn't life better? Why isn't life cheaper? Trump lied to us, blah, 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 because he wants to roll with the billionaires. Yeah, he's very clear, wasn't he? He said, I don't like you. Or like, yeah, I think he said, I don't like you, I just want your vote. And they still voted for him. Yeah, still went there. Anyway, I'll put here, those increases in passive income and side hustles. So quite a lot of Americans are doing that already, but there's more possibilities side hustles income will increase. I'll put here, those involved in crypto assets could see vast returns if they have picked the right ones. Now, I made this in my original video, but obviously Bitcoin and stuff has hit a new high already on this day. And the other, pardon me, and the other cryptocurrencies are also going to surge, but it all depends what a person is invested in. If you're in the meme coins, which is something different, then that is highly volatile, and that really can be a pump and dump, as we've kind of sort of like been seeing so far. We'll see what happens with the Trump coins and the Melania coins, but isn't it absolutely astonishing? But there are going to be a lot of people that will make a lot out of crypto as well. So there's going to be people that will be losing money because of expenses, and because so many tax cuts will be going to the rich and wealthy. But then there'll be people in crypto that will also make a lot as well. It's not going to even it out, not by any stretch, but there will be people that will be doing very well out of this administration. You know, they will. I've put here, many Americans may travel abroad for the first time, either because they've gained a windfall or because they want to leave. Yeah, there can also be that element as well. Quite a lot of Americans are just going to be like, I'm done. Actually, quite a few of my clients are just like, I want to relocate. I think that will, depending on how things go in the first 100 days and the coming years, that trickle could become a river, potentially, of people wanting to set up in new places. It depends as well what happens with the H-1B visa. Bernie Sanders, I posted on my community tab, Bernie Sanders has proposed an amendment to that. So basically it can't keep on being used and exploited. And one of the things he said is that basically a whole bunch of American workers were laid off. And then the H-1B visa was then used to employ these these for high skilled jobs. But one of the things Bernie was saying was that the majority of these visas were going for entry-level positions. Yeah, so it's a whole pile of BS. You know, these lying, billionaires just lying. It's exploitation. It's all about money, all about profit. Like with that tarot read that I did in that original recording that I did. But I put here, foreign investment will likely increase in some places, but other places it may be excluded. Yeah, so obviously he's still going to be going on his war path with Canada, etc., and stuff like that, but other places may actually benefit. All right, let's see here. I'm at 27 minutes. So what I'm going to show is I'm now going to click up on, let's click up on another chart. So if we look here, let's do I'm going to show you the Declaration of Independence chart. So, which of course is 1776, and I use the time 6:30 p.m. 4th of July, Philadelphia. This chart works very well. Many of us Vedic astrologers use this chart. Here you can see, here is Pluto in the original chart at 6 degrees 48 minutes of sidereal Capricorn. And you will see here that as of today, Pluto is at 7 degrees 28 minutes of sidereal Capricorn. So the Pluto return has happened and it is unfolding. Yeah, this is a developing energy. Yeah, a developing energy. What I've just noticed and what I find actually quite remarkable is that you can see here in the USA Declaration of Independence chart, Uranus is in Taurus. Yeah, in the 6th house. Now the 6th house deals with battles, yeah, fighting battles, but also deals with health, enemies, and overcoming obstacles. And I've just noticed that. And at the moment, you'll see 5 minutes of sidereal Aries. But remember, it went into sidereal Taurus on the 1st of June, 2024. It's since retrograded in Aries and will return to sidereal Taurus on or around the 29th of March, 2025. Yeah, which means that America is going to be also not only having a Pluto return, but a Uranus return as well. So, and then Uranus is in the first house of the declaration of the inauguration chart. So do you see this Uranian energy is very, very strong. And the last time Uranus was in sidereal Taurus was about 84 years ago, which, you know, that was the 1940s. Yeah. So we think of what, you know, I'm not saying the same is going to happen again, but do you remember in the past I was saying we're back in that energy of like World War II kind of energies, but that the way the energies are going to be manifesting is going to be a bit different this time. Yeah, it's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit different this time. The important thing to understand is the Great Awakening that I was talking about. So let's put it back in here, 29th of March, just so you can have that visual. 29th of March, 2025. And the time I have to use here is 18. There we are. And then calculate. Yeah, so that's stellium. Superimpose it on the USA chart. It happens in the 1, 2, 3, 4th house. And the 4th house deals with what? Home, real estate, family, security. How we get our needs met is also as well, because it's the natural domicile of the moon, and the moon is how we get our needs met. The 4th house is, of course, relative to the 4th sign, which is Cancer. Yeah, and so it deals with the heart chakra, our emotions, our sense of security and self. And this great awakening is happening in the USA. So this is happening in the homeland. Quite literally, people are going to start waking up within their hearts as the realities of what the new administration is and stand for unfold. Many of you watching, of course, already know this. Yeah, you already know this and have been worried about this. But for those that are not aware, they're going to find out. Yeah, they're going to find out. This means dramatic change and transformation in the homeland of the United States. And when we think of that Uranian energy, we really are going to see some unprecedented things that have never, ever been seen before in America. Yeah. On that next level, because this administration is probably going to be even more unhinged than the first one. Yeah, because there's no guardrails this time. Yeah, there's no guardrails. I also think this is relevant. You guys will remember me saying that the energy builds up. Yeah, the energy builds up, especially like a couple of months beforehand. You know, the energy builds up. And when we think of like real estate and stuff like that, if we think of the fires in Los Angeles, things I said in the previous recording is that I believe when Mars moves out of sidereal Cancer, once he's out of debilitation, hopefully you might get a bit of rain in that area to kind of calm everything down. But then, as someone wrote in the comments on that video, they said, well, we don't want too much rain, otherwise you get the mudslides. So you see, it's quite conflicted. But this is happening in the homeland, so it means there's going to be many domestic changes. I also think, of course, when we think of like home and family, obviously the issues, things around deportations and stuff like that. There's going to be things a lot of in the news, I think, about safe states as well. People may be moving to what they feel are safe states, because the 4th house is also security. It's associated with the mother, but it's also associated with comfort. And where we feel that it's the stronghold, yeah, the seat of power. So we could even see quite a bit of movement within the United States, depending on what happens with certain policies, where people may be trying to avoid, of course, being extradited effectively or put into a camp, which is what has been openly discussed. And again, bringing in that sort of Second World War energy. So we could see that people fleeing certain states in order to feel secure in other ones, and then argy-bargy going backwards and forwards in that front. So there's a tremendous amount of energy there. But on that personal level, this can also be seen as a renaissance as well. Wherever that energy, wherever house Pisces rules, there will be transformation. So again, I don't want to just labor all points that I've made before. Let's now look at Donald Trump's chart. Where is it? Here we are. So everyone can see where this energy is falling for him. Yeah. Now let's again just do 29th. Just have to type it again because it resets with each new chart. And again, let's just do this here. 1800 and calculate. All right, so this is Dr. Orange. You don't need me to reintroduce this chart. I've read his chart a ton of times, but Mars in the first house, Leo rising. So if we look here, this is all happening in his 8th house. Now, you guys will know I refer to the 8th house as what? The house of sex, death, and rock and roll. Yeah, sex, death, and rock and roll. We are already seeing the manifestations of this house. This house also deals with investments, believe it or not. Stock market investments, things like literally crypto as well, currencies, all of those investments, life insurance, health insurance, those kind of things. Yeah. Other people's money. 8th house is known as other people's money. And you remember I said, wherever this is falling in a person's chart, there can be a renaissance in that house. What has Dr. Orange done? Literally just days before the inauguration, he's launched his own meme coin. Has made and bagged himself billions. And then his wife has done it. Yeah, and then she tagged his coin a bit. And apparently his coin is now back up and they've both settled out a bit, whatever. But the point is, this is happening in Dr. Orange's 8th house. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My goodness. Yeah. So that really has already come true. But it also shows as well, it really is just about how much money he can get out of people. Magatonians, they cannot says, I don't like you, but I want your vote, or whatever it was that he said. But it was that, or it's like, I don't care about you, I want your vote. Words to that effect. I can't remember precisely, but we all know what we're talking about if you're watching this. He told them, yeah, it's about the money, enriching in himself, and he's already kind of done that. But remember too that the 8th house is also a house of transformation. So this means this is symbolic of the volatility and the changeability of Dr. Orange will be even more, it'll be on steroids. But the 8th house as well is, it can also deal with death and endings as well. Now, does it mean that he's necessarily going to exit stage left? It remains to be seen, but that is a lot of energy to have in one's 8th house. So I would say all of those are possible, yeah, because it's such activation. But then if you're a Leo rising, I don't want you worrying as well that you're gonna, you know, keel over and kick the bucket or what have you, yeah. But it means tremendous transformation. So whatever Dr. Orange is now at the start of his presidency, he's going to be very, very different at the end. Very, very different. 8th house also can be also a house of, it's also a house of scandals as well, but it can also do with espionage. It can even do with magic as well, astrology, things, you know, things like that. I don't even want to say it, but this could be the case. We might even hear astrological things coming out of Trump's mouth. I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, but yeah, could well be. This could also mean disclosure of secrets as well. I think I said it in the previous video, but just underlining it here. There's going to be a lot of disclosure on certain things, particularly to do with secret documents, classified documents, all of this kind of stuff, because he's having this big old, you know, in his 8th house. He's not going to be able to shut his mouth. I think everything is just going to be confessing to everything in many ways, particularly once he's sworn in. He might be confessing to all sorts of things, but we might discover some really shocking stuff as well. might discover some really shocking stuff. So it is these are very interesting times. I don't think I want to emphasize any more points after that, otherwise I will just be covering old ground. Yeah. Oh. See, make sure I'm back. Yes, a little bit of a freeze there. So, oh, look at that. That's 40 minutes. So I think I will leave it there. I think I'll leave it there. I don't think there's any more I can contribute at this stage, based on what I've said already and what I've already shared. Please don't forget as well to like and subscribe and press the bell notification button. Again, apologies for that previous recording. I hope this one is a lot better. Also, as well, with I didn't wait for the full download as well, because there's a StreamYard has got some weird kind of like download things, and I wanted to get that video up. So I'm just going to wait for absolutely everything to happen as it should before I post this video. And before I post the video, I will watch it through as well to make sure that it's smooth. Yeah, that is smooth. Anyway, I will leave it there. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And of course, you'll see me next on Thursday Fry Up or something like that. All right, but bye for now. Cheers. Yeah, just get